Hello friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I'm here this week with another video, and this time I want to do another author spotlight. So today I actually want to talk about an author that I've really come to love over the last few years, and she just recently had a new book out last month that I absolutely adored. So I thought now is a really great time to talk about not only her new book, but maybe a couple of her older books as well. And if maybe put her in your line of vision if she's not somebody that you've, heard of before. So this author that I want to talk about is Simone St. James. Now, she is a thriller / mystery author. These are technically more thrillers than mystery, although there are some mystery elements in the stories. And this is the first one I actually read by her that I absolutely loved. And one of the things about her stories that just grabs me every time, and at least in the 3 books of hers that I've read, is that in this thriller sort of atmosphere, there's always a little bit of a supernatural twinge to it, but that makes you think there might be a supernatural twinge, right? Whether there may or may not be in actuality. So there's either a ghost or a premonition or something spooky happening as well, and I love that. I love trying to figure out, is this like a paranormal thing that's happening, or is this just like a regular, run-of-the-mill thriller story? So this is the first book, like I said, that I read, The Broken Girls. And it's a story that takes place over 2 different time periods. And actually, all 3 of the books I'm going to talk about today do that very same thing. And I didn't realize that until just this second. So the first is in 1950. This book takes place at this boarding school for girls that, well, I hate to say are unwanted, but they are. They're either too smart for their own good, they either get into a lot of trouble, they're troublemakers, or they're illegitimate daughters. So 1950 Vermont, Idlewild is the name of this boarding school. So all these girls are sent there. They're these, misfits, and 4 roommates start to bond over their stories and experiences, and they become really, really close until one of them goes missing. So now fast forward to the year 2014, and we've got a same place, Vermont, same boarding school that has now been closed, and this young woman named Fiona has lost her older sister. She had been murdered, and the body was found not that far from where this boarding school was. So when she finds out that somebody is actually renovating the boarding school and getting ready to, try to bring it back to what it was before, she decides to start looking into what happened with her sister, because even though they found the murderer, something about it never really sat right with her. So there's a lot of different stuff going on. It's creepy, it's exciting, it's fast-paced, it's fun. This type of thriller story are ones I just can't put down, and that was absolutely the case here. And when I picked it up, I guess it was a year or 2 ago now that I first read this, I was absolutely floored by how much I loved it. I love thrillers. I really do. But sometimes they can be sort of like, a dime a dozen, right? Like you read one, you've read them all. This one really stood out for me, and it put this author on my radar, which then got me super excited to read the next book that came out by her, which was The Sundown Motel. I'm sorry I don't have the actual book to hold. The library copies are both checked out, and I couldn't get my hands on one. So The Sundown Motel is the same sort of idea of 2 different time periods. There's something that happens at this hotel, or motel rather, way back in the day, cut to current time, and a relative of the person who went missing is now here to investigate. And like I said, there are definitely some creepy aspects of it as well. I really liked this one a lot. Now, the newest one I want to talk about as well, because I really like this one, and I think this actually might be my favorite one out of all of them that I've read. This is The Book of Cold Cases. So this is her brand new book. It just came out last month. I happened to get the Book of the Month copy because I was so excited about it. And again, this is another dual split point of view from the past and the present. And this time it is taking place at this little town in, I believe it's Oregon. I just want to double check. Yes, Clear Lake, Oregon. And in the 70s, there was these 2 murders that completely rocked this town. Because the thing that was so unique about these was that, number one, it was the 70s, and it was looked like it was perpetrated by a woman. So 2 men, nothing to do with each other, were murdered in the 70s in this little town, and a woman left these notes saying signed the lady killer. So that was a really crazy thing to be happening, because most serial killers, end up being male. So the person that is tried for it is like the perfect suspect. Her name is Beth Greer. She is super aloof and beautiful and rich, and just doesn't seem to care about anything. But she gets let go. She never gets actually convicted of this crime. So cut now to the current date and time, and the main character is works as this receptionist by day, but she is really a true crime aficionado, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, because I know a lot of people that read books like this love true crime, right? I wouldn't say that I'm a true crime aficionado, because I'm a little bit of a sissy and I would have to sleep with the lights on all the time if I read a lot of true crime stuff. But the main character here, she loves true crime. She runs a podcast where she investigates all these cold cases. And the one that she is most obsessed with is the lady killer case. So when she gets the opportunity to talk to Beth now, some 30, 40 years later after these have happened, she jumps at the opportunity. But she finds very soon that she is in over her head. And like I said, this is another story where there's some supernatural things that are happening too that kind of like freak you out. There's a moment very early on in here where, and I don't want to say what it is because I want you to experience it, but all the hairs on my arms just stood up, and I was like, got such a chill. And I love that feeling when I'm reading a thriller book. It was so, so good. So if you like really fast-paced thrillers that are very well written, if you like stories that have lots of twists, this one definitely had a couple twists that I did not see coming. Give this one a try. If you're new to Simone St. James, or if you are a fan of her previous works, this is a fantastic book to jump into, as with her other works as well. The Book of Cold Cases. So that's who we wanted to talk with you about today. I hope that these books and this author sound really interesting and exciting. If so, please feel free to come and get them from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. We would really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching, and have a wonderful rest of the day.